2017, April 21st. I want to say more about QE, central banks' balance sheets, and rate hikes, and the connections between them, in addition to what I already said in my previous videos. First, I did not gave any answer about the claim that a currency is a bond with 0% yield, which is partially true, maybe more true than false. But still there is a difference between currency and the bond with 0% yield. I am not saying that it is a big difference. I am not saying that it is stupid to think about currency as a 0% bond. It is not stupid. It is better than, it is more good than bad to think about it this way, but it is not exact. Now, regarding currency and as such a bond, why it is not true? Suppose you had a currency. Suppose you had a bond with 0% yield, originally 0% yield. Now, suppose the central bank issuing, or I don't know, not issuing, with the authority to deal with that bond, to pay on it, whatever, like the situation with the Federal Reserve and the United States Treasury bonds. Suppose the rate goes up from 0 to a 0.25%. In this case, the bond should crash 100%. Why 100%? Because the yield went up infinitely, from 0 to a quarter of 1%. This is an infinite rise in the yield. So since the price of the bond is inverse to the inverse, as in 1 divided by, not as in 0 minus. So if the rate went from 0 to anything positive, suppose from a 0 to a 0.25%, since it went up in infinite amount, because there is no positive number by which you multiply 0 to get anything positive, including 0.25%. So that bond should crash, should be, again, so why will it not happen? It will not happen because it doesn't work exactly like this. It is not exactly true that the price of a bond is inverse to its yield, because the price can be manipulated, like with QE, when it is artificially being bought, and when it is being bought, it prevents the price to collapse. So the main effect on the price of bonds nowadays is not its initial rate, but simply the artificial price that the issuing central bank is manipulating it to be. So this is why, and again, this is one difference. A central bank can manipulate the price of its bonds without cooperation from foreign central banks, but it cannot bid the value of its own currency up without cooperation from central banks of foreign entities. If it has that cooperation, like in swaps, it can. But if it doesn't have that cooperation, it cannot. It can increase the value of its currency by shrinking its balance sheet. This way, a central bank can increase the value of its currency by doing the reverse of QE, of expansionary monetary policy. So this is a difference between a bond of 0% yield and the currency. The yield on a bond with initially 0% can be artificially changed by the issuing central bank without cooperation from foreign central bank. The value of its currency is more problematic, yet still sometimes possible to manipulate. So why did the dollar not collapse in an amount that fits the rise of the rate hikes? Why did it not? The rate went up and the dollar did go down, but it did not go down nearly as much as it should if you apply the inverse relation between yield and the value of the currency. The yield on the currency and the value of the currency. The yield went up much more than the value of the dollar went down. The dollar did not go down in an inverse relation to the rise of its yield. Why? I don't know, but there was even no unwinding of the balance sheets yet, at least not until it declined in its value as much as it did. So why did it not go down as much as it should? I don't know. This just shows you that a currency is not exactly a bond with 0% yield. Nothing. So again, now, how can QE cause hyperinflation? Simply, the Fed last year, I think in the end of 2016, the Fed allowed or asked or something the banks to use their reserves in order to buy their own stocks. This way, the reserve money, whatever it is called, M whatever, I don't know M what number it is, doesn't matter now. But this currency, which some MMT people do not consider money because it doesn't circulate. This way the reserves got into circulation by when the banks use them to buy their own stocks or whatever stocks or whatever assets. They injected that money into the circulation. So the only inhibition that before it, the only inhibition that prevented it from creating hyperinflation was regulatory, because they were not allowed before to use their reserves. But now when they were allowed, then the value of the dollar went down. Then it caused inflation. It was delayed inflation because the regulatory inhibition was all the time intact. But when it was removed, down went the dollar, up went the stocks, and here QE causes inflation. Very simply. Why? How can you deny it? That QE is inflationary, and balance sheet expansion is inflationary. Very simple. And when you deflate the balance sheet, you remove money, currency, from the economy, from the circulation, and cause deflation. So the real force in our time, in our state of the world, the biggest force affecting interest rates and prices and currency forex valuations are balance sheets. Interest rates, they matter, but balance sheets matter much more. And of course that the regulations on what is possible to do, what is allowed to do with bank reserves, these also matter. So I think I explained, I hope I didn't miss anything regarding interest rates, balance sheets, and QE. And I did say things I did not say before, so I had to add them now. Bye for now.